Peace to the gods. Peace to the gods. Everybody doing? Peace, everyone. How y'all doing? Somebody said my email address doesn't work, but you didn't tell me what email address you sent everything to. My email address does work. Listen very closely to my email addresses that you will send it to. 'Cause I'm not answering any other email address. I'm not answering none of them. So if you email me at any other email other than the email addresses I'm giving you right now, you will not receive a response. All right. You're not going to receive a response. All right. We have, for all questions, you can email me at support@spcuniversity.com. If you need some information, info@spcuniversity.com. And let me see. This one right here. I want to share what I use the process for, okay? And I got some Yusef at spcuniversity.com. All right. And there is something, hold on, let me check this person's stuff real quick. Oh, yeah, that's what I was looking at that for. Hmm. Let's see. I have to get back to that. Let's see. that's on here then. Oh, yeah, that's right. I sure do. Okay. Anyway, let's get to it. All right. Have to do that later. What time is it? 6:46. Okay, we got an hour. All right. Do you recommend a separate EIN number for a business trust? That don't make no sense. You can only have one EIN number for per entity. Once you study basic business 101, that doesn't make any sense. You got a 98 number. If you're going to have a business trust, unless what you're asking is, do you get an EIN number for a trust? You can if you're going to open a bank account. That's what you get an EIN number for, to open up a bank account. It's to open up a bank account for a trust. Let's see. I've been inspired by what you've been saying on YouTube and learned a lot. You're welcome. EIN numbers can be used for each business you're involved in. Yes, they can. I mean, EIN numbers, so you can, you know how to open up a business, right? You go incorporate at the Secretary of State, go to the IRS website, get you a EIN number, and then you go to the bank and you show them your incorporation paperwork as well as giving your EIN number and open up a bank account. Okay, you get the 4 or 5 numbers, the corp numbers. One's for business credit, the other's for personal credit. That's it. It's not that nothing mysterious or anything like that. You should come to the classes at night instead of trying to get everything for free. Why don't you pay some money and come to the class at night? We've explained this very cogently, what the numbers are for. That's what we have classes for. Today, I wanted to talk about the Treasury direct account number. We kind of touched on that a little bit last night in class, because that seems to be a common theme that keeps reoccurring all the time, is about a secret account. And then the bashers of the sovereign movement, have weaponized this along with a couple of other things to try to label people as crazy. These people believe that there is a secret account somewhere with their name on it. These people believe that they don't have to follow any laws. These people believe, this is what you'll see them say. It's kind of obfuscation, because they will constantly tell you what they believe. And they'll say, well, the courts have continually ruled against it. No, the courts have only offered an opinion based on facts that have appeared. That's all they've done. All right. It doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean that it's not true or anything. Just nobody has sufficiently presented a case with enough evidence to prove what it is they're saying. Even though the preponderance of evidence should weigh heavily within the favor of the individuals who are going into the courtroom. When we're talking about a secret Treasury account, and don't talk about things outside of what we're talking about, because like in the chat room, when y'all start asking questions that are unrelated to the topic, I look at it as a sign of disrespect. So if you're going to disrespect me, that's why I talk the way I do, because it's disrespectful. I put the title, I say, can I access my secret Treasury account? What the fuck you coming on here asking me about EIN numbers and shit like that? It's like, we're talking about a secret Treasury account number. That's why I see why dudes who be having shows, they be going off on people and blocking them and shit, because it's a thing called common courtesy. If you ain't got enough sense to have common courtesy, then how you gonna do any of these processes? I don't understand how you're gonna do any of these processes. You're gonna get an answer to something like you want to answer to, should I get a 9-8 number to, so what? I tell you, yeah, you don't know what to do with it. Just the fact that you got to ask me a question about getting a 9-8 number for a trust means you don't know anything about business. Why, even fucking with it? You probably think a 9-8 number frees you or something, So it's just like the question, some of these questions is you can go basically anywhere and get the answers to. You can Google the answer to it. The IRS has a whole entire code section on business trust. It's not like it's some sort of fantasy or something like that. You can actually look this information up. Just do a cursory examination into the subject and you can find the answers that you're looking for. Last week or yesterday, I told you about American jurisprudence. You can go and start studying that. If you want to study and learn about trust, I'm already telling you it's going to take you about 8 months. Most of you, it's going to take you longer than that. So the subject is going to take you about 8 months of consistent study to learn about trust. It's not something that you're going to learn in a week or looking at YouTube videos or anything. You're not going to learn anything on YouTube videos. Not about trust. You're going to have to read and start studying case law and things like that. You're not going to learn anything watching YouTube videos and learn about the administration of a trust. I ain't seen nothing on YouTube. Nothing. I ain't seen nothing. I hear a lot of people talking about it, but I ain't seen nothing. Nothing on YouTube. So it's going to take you some time to learn. So there is nothing different about getting an EIN number for a trust as opposed to an LLC or a C Corp or S Corp or anything like that. Okay, it's not about, a lot of y'all are concerned with the formation of an entity. It's not the formation that they're concerned with. It's the substance of the transactions that you have to learn how to administrate. You can put a trust together in one day. Somebody can give you a little form and you can fill in the blank and you can have your trust in less than an hour, which is what a lot of people out there do. Anyway. It says, we're talking today about, can I access my secret Treasury account? All right, because we're talking about trust, and this is a topic where we're going to get into some discussion about trust, because these are trust accounts, obviously. And people have this notion, or what is going on out there, that it's your account, or they have taken your account and they have taken your property. Okay, well, I'm going to go against the grain of all the other gurus out there who talk like that and tell you, no, it is not your account and it is not your property. The all caps name is not your property. The social security number is not your property. None of that shit is your property. None of it belongs to you. You didn't create it. Just because it has a name that looks like your name does not mean that it is yours. They got something called an item sonin, which means same sounding. Okay, now this should be common sense to people, especially the individuals who claim they know so much about trust. Okay, when you create a trust, all right, for a beneficiary, all the beneficiary has is a right to a pro rata distribution from the trust. That's it. Okay, the beneficiary don't have no right to come up to the trustees and tell them they need to make a withdrawal and give them some money. The beneficiaries don't have, all the beneficiaries have is a right maybe to an accounting of how the money was spent and whether or not there's going to be a distribution. And then depending on the terms of the trust, they don't even have to get a distribution. They can get the distribution at the termination of the trust. So a beneficiary is not going to have no really entitlement right to anything other than a distribution. But you don't own anything. I can go tomorrow and create a trust for my daughter. I can name the trust her name, and she cannot just go into it anytime that she wants to. She can't come and say, well, that trust has my name on it. It's my account. No, it's not. There are trustees over that account, and the trustees are the ones who have all the power and can make determinations about how funds, the trust corpus is going to be utilized, not you. Okay, so when we're doing a secure party process, we are not taking ownership of anything. We're taking control, because control is more powerful than ownership. A lot of ownership is a poor person's concept. Okay, a poor person's concept, just like paying off something is a poor person's concept. All right, wealthy people are not concerned with ownership, they're concerned with control. They're not concerned with paying, getting a big lump sum of money. They're more concerned with receiving a cash flow or a different income stream. All right, they want money paid to them over time. They don't want, just a lump sum of money. Like I said, these are different type of mentalities. So when you're talking about the secure party process, you are talking about taking control of the straw man, not owning the straw man. Okay, because the thing that you do have a say in is over your labor. Okay, because that is what is giving value to all the negotiable instruments that are currently in circulation in the United States. They are backed by the full faith and credit of the United States. And the full faith and credit of the United States only exist in the labor of the people, because the United States don't create nothing. All right, the personnel over there, the employees who work for them, they don't create a goddamn thing. There are people out there who are working jobs and putting in physical labor. It is your energy that keeps all of this going. At any time, if everybody just refused to go to work at the same time one day, okay, you'll shut all this shit down. Okay, the power is in your hands. It ain't in their hands. It's in your hands. It's just y'all sleep and most of you are sheep. All right, walking around getting vaccines and shit like that. All right, that was a big example. It's still people, the biggest thing, example of a sheep to me is, when you're in a store and, it's like 90% of the people in there don't have on a mask. You got two people in there walking around with a mask on. Or like, the Bucks won the championship. You got 65,000 people outside. Ain't nobody got on a mask. But you got these people inside interviewing the players, still social distancing with a mask on. Shit just don't make no fucking sense, just at all. And we're supposed to be the crazy ones, because obviously the people who put on the mask, they are the more intelligent individuals, because they are taking precautions, because their government slave owners told them what to do, and they are choosing to listen to them instead of following their own goddamn common sense. All right. Now, you don't know if your mom just had COVID. You got a lab, 42, air 23, you got a laboratory. Do you know what you're looking at? Because I can bring some professors on here and say she didn't have COVID. That shit don't even exist. The only reason y'all think COVID exists because y'all get all y'all medical advice from fucking C-SPAN. That's what you get your medical advice from, C-SPAN. So get real. I can show you 1,000 there are 1,000 people out there. And then what you worried about it for anyway is the 99% recovery rate. I mean, they tell you anything. And then here's the real thing. Okay, all you people out there, you vaccine people, what have they cured? I'm gonna wait. Put it in the chat room. Put a list of the stuff that they've cured. They ain't cured. They ain't into making cures, because making cures don't make money. It don't make any money. They do not cure anything. That's not how. They don't make no money. Notice they came out with a vaccine. Now you got to take a second vaccine. Now they're talking about giving you third, fourth, and you're going to have to take one every month. And you think it's free. And it's not free. Ain't nothing free in the universe. You paying for that. You paying for it. They bought billions of dollars in your name, all right, which is called the national debt, and you got to pay it back to take care of you. And they doing it in your name. Say, we're doing it in your name. We got to take care of you. We're your friendly neighborhood government. Don't you want us to take care of you? You know you motherfuckers are irresponsible and you can't take care of yourself. You won't eat the right foods. You won't exercise. You won't read a goddamn thing. So we're going to take care of you and we will tell you what to do. And you need to listen what the fuck we'll tell you to do. Now go take this shot and do what the fuck we tell you to do. All right? That's what's going on. Yeah, he talking about everybody is okay, let me start blocking these let's see. This is all a distraction. Yeah, it is. But let me get back. I don't want to get too distracted. All right, so this a treasury account. All right. Is there an account as far as I'm aware of? Yes, there is an account. Nothing that the government has is for your personal use. However, I haven't seen anything, and anything that I've been doing over my time that has been available to, including the black card, treasury accounts, or nothing that's just there for your personal use. It has to be for some sort of commercial use in some kind of way. I I'm gonna tell you that, and that's all I'm gonna tell you on that right there. However, when you're doing a secure party process, you are not involved in that. Usually, that Treasury direct account is connected to a DTC. You're gonna have to become a DTC participant and put together a trust. All right, it's a little bit more involved in that. Hello. I'm live streaming right now. All right. I don't know why she always called me when I'm live streaming. Don't call me all day. As soon as I get on, as soon as I get on, never fails. Anyway, uh, when you're doing a secure party process, the account is on the bond. That's why I like, that's why I like that process because we don't get involved in something that you can't prove it exists. You don't have no proof that those accounts exist. I mean, you got your number on the back of your social security card and all of that, and the first letter indicates what, Federal Reserve, that account is located at and all of that. And people have used those numbers to discharge debt. Some Heather Ann Tucci, that was the last time it was real big. Of course, they got arrested and some things like that occurred. And I came out and told everybody that no, that's not, those accounts are not for you to be using. You're not a signer on the account. You don't have a signature on card on file on that account or anything. Where's your authorization to use the account? Okay. You don't have one. All right. It don't exist for you. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to do something through a process called contract. And that is why you are using a bond, okay, to represent your financial or your commercial energy. And then you are tendering that to the Treasury Department and allowing them to accept it or reject it. You're giving them the option, okay? You're telling the Treasury Department, look, here's a bond. Now, the Treasury Department don't want to send those back because the Treasury Department is broke. And when you put a bond together the right way, understand this, that they understand that it is a commercial item and it does have value. And they're going to keep it. Okay, just because you don't understand what a bond is and what it represents and whether or not it's valid or not doesn't mean anything to them. Okay, there isn't any money. I keep hearing people come on my channel and say that the most stupidest thing that Yusef has said is there ain't any money. And I'm going to retort that back to you is you're the most idiotic fool on planet Earth if you think that there is money currently in circulation within the United States. Maybe I need to say it more specific like that. All right, money is gold and silver or money that is redeemable in gold and silver. Now, if you want to hear an expert tell you that, let me read it to you real quick because I got to address this type of shit because I'll be having people come on and they'll say some little slick ass comment, just some slick ass comment, about something. And I'm like, damn, you ain't read no shit. Let's look at the affidavit of Walker Todd real quick. Let's look at this real quick. It's called the affidavit of Walker Todd. Walker Todd worked for the Federal Reserve. Here's the link that's in the chat room. You can put this in. I would advise you to put this in as an exhibit. If you are in any court proceeding regarding your negotiable instrument, this would be a very good exhibit to attach to your complaint or to your answer or to whatever it is that you are involved in. It's called the affidavit of Walker Todd. The name of my glasses are called Balmains. Balmains. I got them at Phipps Plaza. But the individual tried to say they were fake. I'm like, man, please. Where we gonna go? All right, so we're reading this affidavit of Walker Todd. All right, let's look at Walker Todd's professional qualifications, because obviously he is an expert, and you people who are making comments talking about it's stupid to say there ain't any money is just ignorant motherfuckers on a computer screen behind a fake profile saying some shit, trying to get people to roll along with you. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Okay, so let's look at this real quick. I'm down here at professional qualifications. It says, my qualifications as an expert witness in monetary and banking instruments are as follows. For 20 years, I worked as an attorney and legal officer for the legal departments of the Federal Reserve Banks of New York and Cleveland. Among other things, I was assigned responsibility for questions involving both novel, meaning new, okay, and routine notes, bonds, bankers, acceptances, securities, and other financial instruments in connection with my work for the Reserve Bank's discount windows and parts of the open market trading desk function in New York. In addition, for 9 years, I worked as an economic research officer at the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland. I became one of the Federal Reserve System's recognized experts on the legal history of central banking and the pledging of notes, bonds, and other financial instruments at the discount window to enable the Federal Reserve to make advances of credit that became or could become money. I also have read extensively treatises on the legal and financial history of money and banking, and have published several articles covering all of the subjects just mentioned. I have served as an expert witness in several trials involving banking practices and monetary instruments. A summary biographical sketch and resume, including further details of my work experience regarding publications and education, will be tendered to defendants and may be made available to the court and to the plaintiff's counsel upon request. So I think that pretty much covers it. Okay, we have an expert witness who is an attorney, okay, works for the Federal Reserve, and all he does is specialize in money, all right? Now, the first thing that he starts discussing is GAAP. Because the reason we are talking about GAAP is because there isn't any money. Everything is involving accounting. We have what's called money of account, not money of exchange. I guess this is what they say when there ain't money. They want to say they don't understand. We're talking about constitutional money. Constitutional money is gold and silver, an exchange, something that you can exchange with. Okay, but we have what is called credit money. All right, what you have to write it in a ledger and keep track of it. And the only way that we can zero out the account, we have to put an offsetting liability against it in order to zero out the account. So we have what is called generally accepted accounting principles. Now, if you want to understand that banks are all qualified to follow generally accepted accounting principles, you can find that in United States Code. What is that? United States Code. Wait a minute. (12 USC 1831N). So Title 12, United States Code 1831N. And that tells you that all federally insured banks are required to use that accounting. All right, so we know this is why Walker Todd is discussing GAAP, because all of these banks that are connected to the Federal Reserve are required to use this accounting procedure. And I have a CPA video on this channel that you should watch. It's called Money Mechanics or something like that. But it's a CPA. Al Harford is his name. And he's a CPA, and he's sitting here giving you instructions on GAAP and showing you how they're stealing your money and how there isn't any money, how you're really giving them money. He's actually showing you on a chalkboard how it works. All right. So let's talk about generally accepted accounting principles. Banks are required to adhere to generally accepted accounting principles, GAAP. GAAP follows an accounting convention that lies at the heart of the double entry bookkeeping system called the matching principle. This principle works as follows. When a bank accepts bullion, coin, currency, checks, drafts, promissory notes, or any other similar instruments, hereinafter instruments, from customers and deposits or records records the instrument as assets, it must record offsetting liabilities that match the assets that it accepted from the customers. Notice what I just said, double entry bookkeeping. The liabilities represent the amounts that the bank owes the customer, funds accepted from the customer. In other words, to give you an illustration of what goes on, when you take a promissory note, a Federal Reserve note, or a $100 bill to the bank and make a deposit, you are depositing a promissory note. The bank has to ledger that on their bank as an asset and a liability simultaneously. It's an asset because now they have it on their books. They can lend out money 10 times that amount, okay? And it is a liability because they have to give it back to you, okay? All right, so it's an asset and a liability simultaneously on their books. Now, in fractional reserve banking systems like the United States banking system, most of the funds advanced to borrowers, assets of the bank, are created by the banks themselves and are not merely transferred from one set of depositors to another set of borrowers. Another place that you can get this is FASB 95. FASB, the Financial Accounting Standards Board Statement 95, on page 21 or 22 under financial institutions, you will see very clearly that they tell you that the banks create money out at the end through their lending activities. They say that money, they manufacture it. Now, here's the part where we talk about the distinctions of money, and we need to understand this so we can get into, is there any money in the account under this Treasury direct account? Because everybody says, I'm saying there isn't any money. There's money in the account. It's your money. Okay? Relevance of subtle distinctions about types of money. From my study of historical and economic writings on the subject, I conclude that a common misconception about the nature of money unfortunately has been perpetuated in the U.S. monetary and banking systems, especially since the 1930s. In classical economic theory, once economic exchanges move beyond the barter stage, there are two types of money: money of exchange and money of account. For nearly 300 years in both Europe and the United States, confusion about the distinctiveness of these two concepts has led to persistent attempts to treat money of account as the equivalent of money of exchange. And that is what is going on today in your society with your electric companies, with your banking institutions. They are trying to create this money of account as the equivalent of money of exchange. And you see them doing this because they, and this is what Walker Todd is going to say. They lend you credit. They should accept credit in return. Equality under the law is mandatory. But no, what they want to do is they lend you credit and they want you to give it back in labor. Now, if that's not a sophisticated form of slavery, I don't know what is. In reality, especially in a fractionally reserved banking system, a comparatively small amount of money of exchange, gold, silver, and official currency notes may support a vastly larger quantity of business transactions denominated in money of account. And let me talk about that for a second. I don't know, back in history, if you remember in the gold rush, when they would go into the mountains and, get gold, and they'd be up in the gold, looking for gold, and Eureka, he struck it rich. And so he got his gold over his shoulder. He's walking down the hill back down to town. Now he can't carry all that gold around. Okay, it don't make sense. He gonna get robbed. Somebody gonna hit him over the head. It's just not easy to carry that much gold around. So what does he do? He comes to a person like me, because these people thought like I did, back then, the bankers and everything. I would construct me a big building and put bars all around it and put two goons up front with guns and everything. You know what I'm saying? All right, bring your gold to me and I'm going to hold it for you. And then I'm going to give you a certificate for it. We'll call it a gold certificate. And now we'll do some sort of quantity where weights and measures of gold, that this amount of ounces of gold equals $1 and so forth. All right, now when you want to come back and get your gold, I'm going to give you the same amount of gold back. And when you bring back your certificate, you bring me back with a $1 certificate, and I'm going to give you that much ounces in gold when you come back. All right, but nobody ever, well, everybody didn't come back. All right, they would get the gold certificates. They would walk around town. They see a horse, and they go over to the man with the horse and say, look, yo, man, I got this much gold over in that building over there. Yusef is holding it for me. He gave me a certificate, a receipt for it and everything. I tell you what, you can go claim that gold. This is a claim ticket. All right, you go claim the gold. Let me get the horse, man. And you can go over there and get that gold out of there. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel like carrying it around or nothing like that. I'm glad Yusef came up with that idea. So he holding the gold for everybody and giving us these people pieces of paper called certificates, gold certificates. So, we all carrying this around instead of the gold. And it's safer too, because somebody steal it. As long as I got a receipt over there, over at his place, he can give me another one and cancel out the one that got stolen. Shit, that shit was good. My nigga, yeah, that's a good, all right, bet. Here, let me get it. Take the horse. Okay, so he gets it and makes the exchange. But does he go reclaim the gold? No, he sees my man over here with the wagon. He said, yo, man, look, let me get the wagon. I got this gold certificate. I know you've seen them all going around and everything. There's gold over there in that building. I tell you what, just give me the wagon. You take the receipt. You go get the gold. I just want the wagon. All right? Because what people discovered is people really don't give a fuck about money or gold. They only give a fuck about what it can buy. Okay? So that one of my ancestors peeped that out. They was looking and just seeing that, damn, none of these people, they just keep bringing this gold in this building and nobody's coming to get it back. Well, no, somebody did. 10% of the people, 1 in 10 persons came to reclaim his gold. Only 1 in 10. The other 9, 10 say wouldn't. So today you have what? A 10% reserve. Because my numbers don't lie. That's where it came from. Okay, only 1 in 10 people coming. So they only needed to keep enough gold on display for those 1 in 10 that wanted to come back and get their gold. The 90% of the gold was going out the back door, okay, and they was buying up shit with it and investing it. You motherfuckers don't know what to do with it. All you want to do is buy a car and a house and pay some fucking bills and shit, okay? Well, we'll give you some monopoly money to do that shit with. We'll take the gold and we'll go buy up some shit, like some oil wells and some goddamn like livestock and poppy fields over in Afghanistan and shit like that, you know, shit that makes the world go around. You understand what I'm saying? So I hope y'all got that, that nice little explanation of how, money, how money and everything started. So that was money of exchange. Wasn't no tax on an exchange, because there wasn't any profit or gain. It was an exchange. You know what I'm saying? But now we got Federal Reserve notes, which is money of account. All right, money of account. All right, it's not really. Let's see what Walker Todd say about that. Let's see what he say about this money of account. Okay, now he said the sum of these transactions is the sum of credit extensions in the economy. With the exception of customary stores of value like gold and silver, the monetary base of the economy largely consists of credit instruments. All right, so largely, 99% of what's going on out here, only 5% of the money today is cash money. Y'all know that. 95% of it is in electronic form. All right, they try to make it into a cashless society. Now they telling you you ain't got no change, and they trying to get rid of all the cash. The reason they want to get it into a cashless society because they say that's going to eliminate the underground. All right, they want to get rid of the underground. Y'all ain't gonna be able to do no secret transactions and shit like that. Everything you do is going to be watched and recorded. That's what they want. All right. Now, with the exception of customary stores of value like gold and silver, the monetary base of the economy largely consists of credit instruments. Against this background, I conclude that the note, despite some language about lawful money explained below, clearly contemplates both disbursement of funds and eventual repayment or settlement in money of account. That is, money of exchange would be welcome, but is not required to repay or settle the note. The factual basis of this conclusion is the reference in the disbursement request and authorization to the repayment of $95,905.16 to Michigan National Bank from the proceeds of the note. Now, let me just pause here and speak about those closing tables and these promissory notes for these mortgages. You'll see language there contained that will make some reference to lawful money. All right, he's going to explain that this is an archaic term. Because what do you mean lawful money? Lawful money was largely gold and silver, or money that can be redeemed in gold and silver. But you don't have shit that can be redeemed in gold and silver. What's preventing that from happening is HJR 192 of June 5th, 1933, codified in Title 31, 5118. Okay, that's where you find the gold clause codified. For all y'all say, well, it don't exist no more and all that. 31 USC 5118. Shit, they're live and well and kicking. So fuck that shit you're talking about. It's right there on the books. That was an exchange of credit of Bank One plaintiff for credit apparently and previously extended to defendants by Michigan National Bank. Also, there's no reason to believe the plaintiff would refuse the substitution of the credit of another bank or banker private banker, as complete payment of the defendant's repayment obligation under the note. This is a case about exchange of money of account credit, not about exchange of money of exchange, lawful money, or even legal tender. Ironically, the note explicitly refers to repayment in lawful money of the United States of America. See promise to pay clause. Traditionally and legally, Congress defines the phrase lawful money for the United States. Lawful money was the form of money of exchange that the federal government or any state could be required by statute to receive in repayment of taxes or other debts. Traditionally, as defined by Congress, lawful money only included gold, silver, and currency notes redeemable for gold and silver on demand. In a banking law context, all right, lawful money was only those forms of money of exchange, the gold and silver, the forms of money plus U.S. bonds and notes redeemable in gold, that constituted the reserves of a national bank prior to 1913, date of the creation of the Federal Reserve. In light of these facts, I conclude the plaintiff and the defendants exchanged reciprocal credits involving money of account and not money of exchange. No lawful money was or probably ever would be dispersed by either side in the covered transaction. Now, all you people be commenting on my channel, just shut the fuck up. Okay, you're not an expert, okay? This shit is very sad. Listen to the experts explain it to you. Okay, do your people a favor, okay, and refer to people who've been put in place, all right, who do these type of things, all right? Stop depending on the guru or your neighborhood friendly homeboy or something that claims he knows everything because he listened to so-and-so guru. Why don't you go and look in these cases and see what these people are saying? They ain't hiding shit from you. If they were hiding something from you, they could never say ignorance of the law is no excuse. How can you have a legal maxim, ignorance of the law is no excuse, and the motherfucker's hiding something from you? They not hiding the goddamn thing from you, okay? You won't take your ass down to the law library. And a lot of y'all really believe, like I was showing in my class last night, that you can just get on the internet and look up the United States codes on the internet. You're another big damn fool. You got to take your ass to the law library, pull that book off the shelf, and read the case law so you can see how that law was applied to a certain given amount of facts, okay, that appeared in a case. I hope I don't have to do this again. So, as far as an account, okay, if there isn't any money, then what's in the account? What's in the account? Do you even need the account? Do you need it? Do you need to go in an account, ain't no money? Or do you need to go in an account when you're the money? Okay, because ain't no money creation until somebody signs something. Ain't no money creation in a system, in a money of account system. It doesn't exist until you put your signature on something. So wouldn't it stand to reason that you could go to the federal government and say, hey, yo, look, I know that you think I am incompetent and I'm not, I can't handle my own commercial affairs. I haven't been properly educated and trained in the utilization of negotiable instruments. However, I've recently educated myself, and I think that I will now take on that responsibility for myself. So I'm going to notify you that any presumptions that you government officials have that I'm incompetent is hereby rebutted, and you are hereby fired if there's any presumption that you're acting in my stead as a trustee. All right? And as a matter of fact, here's a bond. I'm going to give you a bond. And on the tenor of that bond are instructions. All right? When I send something comes through the Treasury Department, it is your job to discharge it dollar for dollar. Okay? Because you took all the gold. Okay, for all you naysayers out there who are talking about the sovereign citizen movement and so forth. Okay, let's just look at the facts. Okay, is it or is it not a fact that the United States is $28 trillion in debt? Now, usually when I start off with that fact, the anti-sovereign group, they just shut the fuck up. Hey, are they trying to obfuscate? They're going to skate past that. They're not going to talk about it. You're not going to get any real type of intelligent conversation about that. When you bring that to their attention, that in the United States, $28 trillion in debt. Now, to me, that is the mark of somebody who does not know how to handle their own commercial affairs. So we can conclude, okay, that if the government is $28 trillion in debt, that they are incompetent, okay? And we probably need to clean house and get some people in there that know what they are doing instead of just running. And then we also need to educate their constituency, because when they put out something like the COVID-19 vaccine or something like that and got everybody believing that it's free, but then they just told you that they just bought a couple of $1 trillion, all right, from the Federal Reserve, all right, where do you think that money went to? It wasn't free, okay? Yeah, they giving it to you for free, but they paid Pfizer and all them billions of dollars for that stuff, okay? In your name. Because everything they do, they're doing for your benefit. They said, we're doing it for your benefit. Well, ain't your homeboy like the owner of that corporation? Yeah, he is, but you know it's for y'all's benefit. It's for your benefit. That's why we borrowed the money out of the Treasury, out the Federal Reserve. We went to these people who are slowly putting the entire world into slavery, and that's why they don't want you reading the Bible. They don't want you reading the Bible. They sitting there pushing your public servants who should know that this country was built off of Christian principles, all right? And they just blatantly going in your face, pushing everything they can against any kind of Christian principle that is in existence today, all right? Homosexuality, being in debt, going to the government for health. Didn't God say in the Bible? Let me talk to you heathens for a minute. Yeah, I'm talking to you heathen. I'm talking to you. Don't be trying to say we know God helps those. Don't be trying to use the twisted, because God said very clearly, I give you the herbs of the field for your healing. That's what he said, didn't he? Ain't that Genesis 1:29? God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant that is up on the earth and every tree that has seed-bearing fruit. That shall be your food. Right there. Where is it at? Let's say, let's look at Revelations 22:2. Through the middle of the street of the city, also on either side of the river, the tree of life, which is the 12 kinds of fruit, yielding in fruit each month. The leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. Have your food, and for you to take the barley, the beans, the lentils, the millet, and put them in a single vessel and make your bread from during the number of days you lie. All of this, man. Better, look at Proverbs 15:17. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a fattened ox and hatred with it. I've given you every green plant for food. Genesis 1:29 through 31. When he was creating everything, I'm just going through all of these different. He heals the broken heart and bounds the wound. Everywhere talking about the plants for food. If anyone destroys God's temple, God will destroy him, for God's temple is holy and you are that temple. Woo, look at 1 Corinthians 3:17. That's good. Ooh. To health and healing, and I will heal them and reveal to the abundance, prosperity, and security. I'm just going through all of the below. It's like here. Let me give y'all this. Let me give y'all the link. So y'all see what I'm looking at right now. Because I'm like, what is he looking at? God just got me. It kind of like took me away for a second. Hold on, and let me y'all link to it because it's just interesting. Yeah, good man leaves an inheritance for his children. And let me show all y'all. Let me show all y'all hidden comments. Make sure all y'all hidden comments can be seen by everyone. Oh, the audio is messed up. Is the audio messed up? Let me see. Somebody said, fix the audio, nigga. Damn, you're talking. I saw it. I didn't know the audio was messed up. Let me see. I gotta go to my my studio and go and do a live stream. I can't do it from here. Oh, water is the key to it. Water is the key to everything. They actually put that in a movie too. What was really interesting, they put it in a movie. They put it in a movie. And this rich guy, I forgot what movie it was. I think it was The Island. It was a movie, I can't remember if it was The Island or what, where this wealthy guy, he said the body's like 75% water, so it stands to reason that if you want to heal the body, just recycle all the dirty water out of the body and replace it with clean water. And that's what they were doing in antiquity with 40-day water fasts. That's recycle all the dirty water. You got a lot of dirty water in your body. And anyone who's ever done a 3-day fast will understand that, because after 3 days, when your body goes into ketosis and you start looking at your urine, when the fat starts burning, it starts releasing all the poison that's contained in the fat and starts, coming out. You're going to start seeing it coming out in your urine. And, you ain't going to have to ask no question. You're going to know, because you're going to see all the poison coming out of your body. Somebody said the audio is fine. Audio is fine. Okay, cool. Somebody else said the audio was bad. All right. Let me see. I usually be looking. Somebody said the audio is fine. Audio is fine. Okay. Sound good to me. All right. All right, where were we? All right, I'm on day 8 of water fast, man. Let me tell you something. I'm still trying to work up my strength. I know I got to do a water fast, man. That is the most powerful thing you can do, is a water fast. Dr. Herbert Sheldon, let me give y'all some authorities to read. Is when you water fasting, if you want to keep it going, it's good to read. This is the person that got me to do my first water fast. His name is Dr. Herbert M. Shelton. And that was the first person ever I read. And when I read his book, I did a water fast. And I'm just going to give you the link where you can buy it off of Fasting Can Save Your Life off of Amazon. You should order that book. And also, another individual, there's a book called The Miracle of Fasting. The Miracle of Fasting by Bragg. I think there's a PDF. There's PDFs on the internet. Yeah, here's one, a PDF of The Miracle of Fasting. But I would buy it. His daughter, they're the ones that make that apple cider vinegar that you see in the grocery store all the time. That apple cider vinegar, that Bragg apple cider vinegar, they like probably the #1 apple cider vinegar that's being sold in the stores. Her father is the one that made that Miracle of Fasting book. I can't see it right here, so let me just go to Amazon. Yeah, here it is on Amazon. Y'all can just order it off Amazon. But those 2 books are the first 2 books that I read. Wisdom of Solomon. Water can never be destroyed. Yep, water also keeps moving. Water is the great purifier. It's the great separator of the pure and the impure. Water separates the pure and the impure. You got to use water to wash anything, right? That's what it does, what it's for. It separates the pure and the impure. So you have to use water. I've been drinking water. I stopped drinking alcohol about 5 days ago. But I've been drinking nothing but water and watermelon juice. Watermelon juice is very good too. Watermelon juice, the rind of a watermelon juice has the same properties as Viagra. So if you're having some problems getting it up, maybe you should just go, and you have to have seeded watermelons. Not that, don't get that, them watermelons don't have no seed in it. It's not live. It's not living food. Get you some water and watch some videos on YouTube. There are videos on YouTube where people discuss what is contained in watermelon. But you just drink, well, I found out about it by accident. Just drinking, you know, just watermelon juice straight for a week one time. And I just, at the end of the week, I was like, whew, you know, it's like ready to go. You know, like, damn. The longest water fast I've ever done is 21 days. At the end of a 21-day water fast, this happened to me, and I learned this from Paul Bragg. He said that your intestinal tract will evacuate, and there's going to be a lot of black stuff come out. And that happened to me. I mean, there's so much stuff in your intestines you wouldn't believe, and you need to get it out. Just going to the restroom is not enough. That TLC product, I use that TLC. Man, that stuff works, man. Not only would it make you lose weight, but it is going to make you go to the restroom. But definitely watermelon juice. It tastes great. Watermelon juice tastes so good. You know, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do a little video after this is over and just show y'all juicing watermelon, how to juice you some watermelon. It's great. Fasting is for skinny people, Jameem Ray. The reason that you're skinny is because you're not assimilating the food well, which probably means that your body is dirty too. That's why you can't gain weight. So you do fast to gain weight as well. Just Google fasting to gain weight. Put that into Google, fasting to gain weight. I know it seems counterintuitive, but obviously if you're not gaining weight, there's a reason why. Probably the kind of food you're eating. I know I was very skinny when I was younger, and it's because I had a heavy diet of fast food because I wasn't educated properly. I grew up in the hood. So I was doing a lot of shit people in the hood do. Go to fucking Church's Chicken and Jack in the Box and fucking eating candy bars and smoking weed and fucking, you know, drinking a whole bunch of liquor and shit and calling it fun, getting drunk and throwing up and calling the shit fun. You know, I did that shit, you know. I did. You know, but is coconut water good? Coconut water straight out of a coconut? Hell yeah, it's good. And what about distilled water? Distilled water is what I use to fast with. And I think Dr. Sheldon is a proponent of it, as well as Bragg. You have some people, they say spring water. There are various opinions about it. I've always used distilled water because it doesn't have any minerals in it. You want to deny the body minerals because what you're trying to do is force the body into a state of ketosis. Once it goes into a state of ketosis, the ketones are being utilized instead of the glucose. You know, I think like 80% of the glucose in the body is utilized by the brain. Once it goes into ketosis, it switches from that and starts using these ketones. And then you start losing weight about 3 pounds a day. It's the fastest weight loss method on planet Earth. Now, you have some people that come out and try to tell you it's unhealthy. It's always a motherfucker that ain't never went a day without eating in his life trying to tell you what the fuck is unhealthy. Okay, do not listen to a person that has never fasted tell you about fasting. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Okay, they don't know what I'm talking about. Them dudes be working out in the gym. This is not good for you. You need to eat you some meat and, you know, eat you some dead animals and put some herbs on it so it tastes good. And, you know, do this right. You know, Yusef, can you tell me why I am seeing the Nasara Jessra everywhere now? I don't know why you're seeing it. I'm going to tell you. You know, that Nasara, you know, that's the St. Germain Trust. I put up a video on it. You know, it's a very good video that tells the whole story of it. I haven't seen anything about that. I'm not looking for something to fall out of the sky into my lap and save me. I'm not looking for a savior. Okay. The saving, the helping hand you're looking for is at the end of your arm. You are a God. All right. Gods don't worship. All right. Everything St. Germain did, you can do. All those miracles and everything that you see St. Germain, allegedly, did. You have the capability of doing those same things. There's nobody any more special, less, or greater than you are. You have the higher senses. You have the ability to do telepathy. You have clairvoyance. You have psychometry. You have higher abilities on you have the ability to access higher levels of intuition, okay, which is the quick realization of truth. That's what intuition is. You have these higher senses, and you can utilize those as well. All right. You can also make things go in your favor. One of the things that people need to start practicing, that is probably one of the biggest secret of the wealthy men, is that because making money is a masculine thing, women. I'm sorry. I know some of y'all are doing it, but it's a masculine thing. There's a reason why there's not that many women on the billionaire list. There's a reason why. All right. Because money is a masculine endeavor. Okay. And when you come onto the battlefield, it's war. All right. You know, you're not going to have very good odds going against a man. It's just how it is. It's a masculine endeavor. And that's because we got sperm. All right. We have testicles. All right. You don't have that. All right. And when we allow that to accumulate in our body over time, sperm isn't like an elixir. It's a creative force. All right. Not only can it create life, but it also can manifest your heart's desire as well. You as the woman, you are supposed to be the inspiration for the man. All right. You're supposed to be the battery that makes him go, that makes him want to get out and do all these things. That's why it's stupid for a man to complain about a woman that wants some money with a man with money. All right. You got to go out and get it. All right. You don't deserve a woman if you can't take care of a woman. It's just it. Because and don't get mad for me saying that. The only reason you ain't have any money if you don't have any, because you ain't tapped into your power. You refuse to. I'm giving you an audio to listen to. It's called Your Wish is Your Command by Kevin Trudeau. Okay, it's probably the best thing on the internet teaching you about the law of attraction. Go over there. It's like a 12 or 13 hour audio. Go over there and listen to all 13 audios and start getting your mind right. All right, men make the money. Money doesn't make the man. All right, you make the money. All right, you attract it into your life. Money is just a symbol of your spiritual power. People without money don't like to say that. If you hear somebody say, no, it's not, they're usually broke. Because they don't want it. They don't want, money is not a symbol of your spiritual power. Yes, it is. Because if you have spiritual power, then you can conjure stuff up. Okay, so where are we going? What's the process called when a grantor gives back the interest in the trust and initially created the trust? The grantor gives back the interest in the trust. The grantor can't, what kind of trust you talking to? Because if a grantor grants over an irrevocable trust, you must be talking about a revocable trust. All right, an irrevocable trust, a grantor can't get back shit. Once he gives it up, he's lost it. So you must be talking about a revocable trust. So specify the type of trust that you are referring to. What is the let's see. What kind of woman are you taking care of? A worthy one? Now I'm gonna have to tell you like that. That's a very good question, because sometimes you can find out that you're taking care of somebody that ain't worthy to be taken care of. And that's another question and everything. That's a thing for another day. Because some of these women ain't, some of these women are not, some of them just, they just ain't been raised properly. They ain't been raised properly. They're not raising a lot. A lot of them ain't raised to be wives. A lot of them are raised to be, okay, I'm going to tell you like this, what I think. I think the problem with a lot of the generation of women that's coming up is rap music. When you see a woman on Instagram or something like that, in every picture that she posts, you don't see her talking, but she got a rap song playing, like, shit, motherfucker. Rap is a very masculine form of expression, all right, because it was started by men, and then women jumped on board and started emulating men and started rapping. Now, I'm not saying that the women can't rap. I'm not in any kind of way say they're not talented enough to rap, because there have been obviously some very talented women who have rapped. However, it is a masculine form of expression. And a lot of times you'll see with those women is they act very masculine-like. and very loose. They're very loose too. So, they're trying to do what men do, not understanding that you can't do what men do because you're allowing somebody to go up inside of you. Okay, you're allowing different men to put their spirit up inside of you. And you can only get pregnant by one man at a time, which is why Maury Povich is making millions of dollars calling all y'all hoes. Who is the daddy? Let's get to it now. We can talk about these things if you want to, all right? But that's just a truthful statement, It's just a truthful statement, It's like, sometimes I be thinking like, it's always, it's more, it's probably better to stay single sometimes, because some of these women, they don't know how to, they'll say that they want a man with money and stuff. They get that shit, they'll fuck it up. They'll fuck it up, they'll fuck it up because they get bored or something. Because when you a man and you making money, you stay busy. And if they ain't got nothing going on in their life, the, an idle mind is the workshop of the devil because they ain't got nothing going on. So it's like, it's just a whole bunch of shit comes with that shit. And, we sit down and talk about that one day too. And, I ain't really, the topic that we can discuss, but I do think that relationships do play a big part in how the nation is being, is going right now. They're trying to get men to act like women, women act like men. They promoting homosexuality real tough towards your kids. All of it, I think, is geared toward population reduction. Because obviously people of the same sex are not going to procreate. And, just things like that. I think that's, what is going on and, why people are acting the way that they're acting. But I think that has a lot to do with what is going on, too, because not enough men are standing up. There's a lot of men who are manly. They're afraid. They're taken over by fear. He said, because women don't want to be women, they want to be a man in woman's clothing. I'm happy to be a woman. That's true, too. Is this? A grantor creates an irrevocable trust. For creating it, he gets shares in the trust for the res he placed into it. But what if he doesn't want the share? How can he give them the shares back? I mean, if they're transferable certificates, what you're talking about is you write it in the indenture agreement. That's in the indenture agreement. What are you talking about? You give it back. Yeah, you can give it back. You give up his share, you transfer them to somebody else. Depends on how they want to do it. It depends on what the indenture agreement says they can do with it. You can write whatever you want into your indenture. You can mold a trust in any form you want. That's an element that you put in the indenture agreement, which is one of the things what I was speaking of and saying that you need to go and read case law. So y'all can understand what you can do with a trust and what you can't. You're going to judge make pleas on behalf of the defendant, or is that practicing law behind the bench? That's a very good question. Now, in the old school, when he said, I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty for you, we would say, thank you, Your Honor. May I leave now? I'm not guilty. Are you saying I'm not guilty? Because you can twist their words around on the record. Now, the thing about it is, you don't ever want to go down that road. That's an argument I don't ever go into. I don't ever get to that part of they're going to want to enter a plea for me. Because when they come in arraignment and they start asking you to enter a plea, before you enter a plea, you have a right to know the nature and cause of the action according to the Sixth Amendment. And that's what you need to invoke. And a lot of y'all getting tricked out of it. Y'all become, they said this in the courtroom. Okay, well, you just let them trick you out of your rights. The Constitution clearly says you got a right to know the nature and cause of the action. What the fuck you come in crying back to me for? Don't come crying to me because you let somebody fuck you in your ass. That's all you telling us. They fucked me in my ass, man. What am I going to do? Come and crying to me because you couldn't get your rights on the record. You go into the courtroom. It's right there on the Sixth Amendment. Let's read it. Let's read the Sixth Amendment. I'm going to get y'all acting like men if it's the last thing I do. We going to get all that. We going to motherfucking root out all that bitch shit that's becoming prevalent with a lot of you men out there. Because a lot of y'all is acting like hoes, all right? And you need to get some testosterone flowing through your body. Stop jacking off your dick. All right, look it up looking at porn. Let that shit start to swell up in your body. All right, so you can start getting a little bit more manly. Because that's what sperm does. It gives you courage. All right, you start busting a nut and start jacking your dick off all the time. It makes you not want to do anything. It starts pumping estrogen through your body. The Sixth Amendment. The Sixth Amendment guarantees the rights of criminal defendants, including the right to a public trial without necessary delay, the right to a lawyer, the right to an impartial jury, and the right to know who your accusers are and the nature and charges and evidence against you. So we got nature and charges. We know what the charges are. What's the nature of the action? Okay, there's an operational presumption in effect when you come into the courtroom and they start asking you how you plead. They're presuming that you don't care what the nature is because you ain't bothered to ask. So they're going to presume that you already know. They got that right. But hold on, Your Honor. We moving kind of fast here. Okay? Now, we don't go through every step of the procedure that is required. Now, I have the right to know the nature and cause of this action. Is that not correct? And you can also start with, I ain't seen no charges entered into the record. They're going to come over and bring you a copy of your charges. You look at the front and the back, and you say on the record, Your Honor, I see no charges. I request that the judge direct the prosecutor to read the charges into the record. We need them to have to do that because we got to know who the party who is accepting liability for the charges is. You don't know. They ain't even said this shit. You just came in the courtroom and start pleading. Go in there and do what I'm saying and watch what happens. I ain't lying. Attorney's just shaking with chagrin right now. They say you gonna get them a contempt charge. I'm gonna get a contempt charge for asserting my rights. You sound like a traitor. What you sound like to me. All right, so let's see what else we got. When you ask the judge, is the criminal or civil, you've always have said the criminal, and there's only two jurisdictions for that. Well, what if it's civil? I understand it's all civil. It's all civil anyway. What do you think admiralty is? Admiralty is civil. It's with a criminal aspect. It's all civil. Go look up the definition of a penal action. These are penal crimes that y'all being charged with. Go look at a penal action. Somebody's saying that the audio is choppy. Somebody else said the audio was bad. Look good to me. All right, let's see what we got right here. Let's see. Getting hot all exes or bonded case. Yes, sounds good. Yes, bro, you're right about that. The Sixth Amendment guarantees your right to counsel. Don't say nothing about anybody from the bar. The reason that you have to have a bar attorney because you have to have an attorney that represents a corporation. And these are corporate entities. You're not in a court. See, that's another thing you have to understand. You're playing the game when you go in there. When you go in there and ask these questions, they trying to pretend like you in a common law court. They trying to pretend like you in a constitutional court. And you're not in no constitutional court. You're in an administrative court. And there's different rules in the administrative court. So you go in there trying to foist on an administrative court common law rules and everything. That's why you be getting fucked up. Yeah, the Constitution does guarantee you the right to counsel. But in the administrative court, everything in there is corporate in nature. And corporations have to be represented by attorneys. And that's why it is a dishonor for you to fire a public defender. You're not supposed to fire a public defender. You're supposed to give the public defender written instructions on what you want him to do. And then if he refuses to follow your instructions, then you can fire him on the record. And then you put on the record what you requested for him to do. You have to allow a public defender to go into dishonor. The reason public defenders aren't any good because you ain't telling them what to do. It's your job to tell him what to do. You give him instructions. You only fire him once he goes to the dishonor. And in your instructions, you make that statement that if you fail to follow my instructions, I want you to go on the record and say why you are failing to follow my instructions and make a written entry of appearance into the matter. I don't play with an attorney. When I'm in court and I got a public defender or something like that, I'll whisper over to him, okay, I need you to read this into the record. And if he say anything other than okay, I'm going to stand up and say, Your Honor, counsel is refusing to follow my instructions. Therefore, counsel is no longer necessary. Counsel is hereby fired. I'll be taking over the case, which is my Sixth Amendment protected right to do, to act in proper persona or in my own person. Okay, I'm going to represent my person, and I'm coming in here as a third-party intervener, as a holder due course, and I'm accepting these charges for value and consideration in exchange for full set-off of all the public charges against the defendant. You know, just go into your little spiel. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do. Give them every opportunity. You got to give them an opportunity to do the right thing. They're not going to do the right thing, no. They ain't going to do the right thing. They are corrupt. They're corrupt in that sense. Well, let me just say this. This is what I think about. This is what I think might be going through their head. They think that the majority of people out here are heathens. You got to look at it like that. They think that the majority of people out here are heathens, and they are. Look at the elite. Do you see the elite getting divorces? Divorce is something heathens do. The heathens do that shit. You know what I'm saying? They get divorces and, you know, have multiple sex partners prior to getting marriage and, you know, just doing shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just a heathen activity. So they looking at everybody, you know, killing each other. You know, I was looking at those rabbis over in Israel, some they kill a person. When I look at them, they rob each other. You know, as they getting slanted each other. You know, look at the shit people do. You know, so when they look at you, okay, they look at you, you don't have any type of character about yourself. All right, then they see there's some need for you to be regulated. Okay, and then so you're not acting as a free person, you're acting as a person that needs to be regulated. And in regulating, that's like cattle. Okay, cattle need to be vaccinated. Cattle need to be vaccinated. That's what they do with animals. They vaccinate. Somebody said the audio sucks. Oh my goodness gracious. Everybody keeps saying the audio sucks, but every time I check the audio's fine. Let me do the audio again. Man, that is the most powerful thing. You can act in the way that you're acting, but I think that has a lot to do with what is going on too, because not enough men are standing up. You know, there's a lot of men who are manly. You know, they're afraid. You know, they're taken over by fear. All right, y'all. He said because women don't want to be women, they want to be a man in woman's clothing. I'm happy to be a woman too. So with this, all right. A grant agrees an irrevocable trust for creating it. It gets shared. I'm gonna let y'all watch the replay. All right, I gotta get ready for class tonight. I'm having class tonight at 9 o'clock. It's gonna be at SPC University. I got all your messages. People having problems logged in. I'm gonna go and check it out for you. Okay, but understand this: ain't no money. You got everything is operating off bonds and promissory notes. We're going to go into it deeper tonight on class, but I will be back a little later. I think after I do class, I might come on and do another live stream because I'm going to head to my studio right now so I can get the audio, get my mic, get everything. I'm in here. I'm in here on this cheap shit right now. So I gotta get back to, you know, my pristine stuff. So, you know, this is like my travel equipment. But anyway, I'll be back. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Yusef_EL_19. The links are in the description to all my social media. Follow me on that. And like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video. All right. Peace.